really can't tell if I'm in focus right now because the sun is in my eyes and I cannot make out whether that is blurry or not, so I'm really hoping I don't sit here and film for 10 to 20 minutes and it all has to be deleted. Hey guys, so as you can tell from the title, I am here with another book haul. I have acquired another 7, 8 books. 8. Definitely 8 books, which I figured I would share with you. The day I'm filming this is actually National Bookshop Day, but this video will probably be going up tomorrow or the next day. But as I'm trying to resist buying any more books, it feels apt to at least be filming a book haul on today since I'm not visiting any more bookshops. But without further ado, let's get into the books. Now the first 2 were actually very kindly sent to me by my wonderful friend Simon over at Savage Reads. If you haven't checked out his channel, it's fantastic and his videos have been quite the detriment to my TBR list. But like I mentioned, he's very kindly actually sent me 2 books, and the first one I am so excited about, and that is The 100 Nights of Hero by Isabel Greenberg. This is Isabel Greenberg's second full hardback graphic novel. The first one being the Encyclopedia of Early Earth, which I adored and would highly recommend, and I am just so excited to have her second one here with me to read. Finally, she is a gorgeous artist. That's some of the illustrations in there with a majestic imagination, and I can't wait to see her bring that all to life in another massive bind up. I don't have the other one with me, but I feel like maybe this one's bigger. And the second book Simon actually sent me because I was talking to him about fancying reading this book but never having seen a nice edition of it. So just having never really picked it up because I hadn't been drawn to a cover before. So he actually sent me the edition of the book that he really likes, and it is beautiful, and that is Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West by Gregory Maguire. I'm sure a lot of you are surprised I haven't read this, and even more than that, I've never seen the musical. I don't even really know the plot. The only things I know about it are that song from the musical, Defying Gravity, that everybody sings, and that it's about the 2 witches from The Wizard of Oz. I've read some little short stories by Gregory Maguire before and his imagination was pretty wacky and fun, so I am really excited to read this one. Simon loves it, Lena loves it, lots of people I love and respect love it, so I'm hoping I enjoy it as much as they do. Oh, and whilst we're talking about the cover, I better show you inside. It's got one of those sort of hidden layers, and it's published by Harper. I then have a book I was sent by the publisher, and that is How Much the Heart Can Hold, 7 Stories on Love, and this is by a selection of authors including Caris Bray, D.W. Wilson, Bernardine Evaristo and more. Although I own some of Caris Bray's short stories, I haven't read them yet, so I don't think I've actually read any of the authors in this collection. But it's published by Scepter and it's really short, so should be really quick to get through, like about 150 pages, and all the stories in this I believe are inspired by Greek myths, so I mean I'm all about this and I'm really excited to get to it hopefully ASAP. I then have 3 books that I've bought myself, all of which are non-fiction because that seems to be the thing that I want to spend my money on the most at the moment. The first 2 I picked up in a bookshop called Houseman's, which I'd never been in before, but it's amazing. If you like non-fiction, then they have every section imaginable, and so many authors and books that I've looked out for in other bookshops and never managed to find copies of, they had in their shop, so I could not resist picking up a couple. And the first one I really want to get to this month, particularly because it is Black History Month, and that is Asata, an autobiography by Asata Shakur. I initially heard about this from reading the works of Angela Davis, who mentioned Asata, and I've been looking out for this book ever since then, as she's known as one of the FBI's most wanted. She was on the terrorist watch list, much like Nelson Mandela, purely for being a black rights activist. She was targeted, so I'm really intrigued to read more about her. I didn't know about her at all before Angela Davis's book, but I think this will be the perfect time to learn more. The next one is actually another author that I heard about from reading Angela Davis. I think such a fantastic way to find out about new books, especially non-fiction, is from citations from other non-fiction works you really enjoy, and this one is Sister Outsider by Audre Lorde. This is collected essays and speeches by the author. And again, I've never read any Audre Lorde, but her poetry and literature is about women's rights, gay rights and black rights. She is a black woman lesbian poet and she stands up for all of those amazing subjects. She was born in the 1930s, so obviously was around for quite a long struggle for all of these groups, struggles that are still continuing today. And she was the New York State's Poet Laureate in the 90s as well, so I'm assuming she's going to be pretty darn good. And lastly, for the non-fiction, we have some Judith Butler. I adore this cover. I've been meaning to read Judith Butler for a while and I spotted this book with this gorgeous cover and thought, this is the time. And it's Frames of War When Life is Grievable, and it's all about media rhetoric surrounding war. And I actually did start this one the day I bought it, but it was quite dense, as in unanticipatedly dense for the mood I was in at the time. So I am probably going to wait until I'm in the right frame of mind to read this because I think it's going to require a lot of concentration. But I mean, it's Judith Butler, gotta read some Judith Butler. But lastly, to polish things off, I have a collection of poetry, and that is Let Them Eat Chaos by Kate Tempest. This is published by Picador, which is an imprint of Pan Macmillan, which is where I work, so this is where I got this book. But if you have been watching my videos since the beginning of last year, you will know Kate Tempest is possibly my all-time favourite poet. Regardless, I adore her work. Hold Your Own, her last poetry collection, just has such a special place in my heart, and I regularly reread poems from it. So I was so excited about the release of her latest, not collection, because this is actually one long poem, kind of like an epic poem, which I read the first few pages of but didn't have time to sit down and read the whole thing at once, which is really how I want to read it, out loud, as it advises in the front cover. So I am probably going to read it this weekend actually and just sit down for an hour or so and read it to myself. It's actually come out to coincide with her album release. She's also a rap artist. There are differences in the poem and the rap album though. The poem has been specifically adapted to be read as a poem, and I'm just really excited for it. Like, oh, I cannot express to you how excited I am for this. But those are all of the books that I have acquired recently. Certainly no mean amount, especially if you saw my last book haul, which I had another 7 books in. So I am gradually working my way through them, and I'm really excited about everything I've got. But if you have any thoughts on the books I've mentioned in this video, please do let me know. If you'd like to recommend me any books on the basis of what I've talked about in this video, then also would love to hear from you. But just generally leave a comment, start a conversation. I love talking to you guys, and until next time, happy reading. I'll see you all again soon. Bye!